Good evening and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Live. This time it is before Preston. We're going to get straight in. Obviously, you can see all the guests who we have. We're joined by our regulars. Good evening to everyone in the chat. We're joined by Omar. Good evening.
Hello, matey. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Joined by Stephen. Good evening.
Hello, boys.
And we're joined by Frankie. Good evening.
Okay, boys. You all right?
Yeah, all good, all good. I think I might be slightly lagged here, but here we go.
Just go with it, mate.
Right. This beginning part of the show is going to be really different to how we normally do it, and it will all become apparent very, very shortly. I'm going to start with an intro, what we had a little while ago, and then obviously I will explain the reasons why we're playing it and some other bits in a minute. So this first 5, maybe 10 minutes of the show will be a little bit hard hitting, and there is a reason to that, and it will all become clear. If unfortunately it triggers anybody who's watching or we affect anyone, then I do apologize for it, but this is an important emotive subject that I'm going to talk about, and I really don't give a fuck. So let's hit the intro.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes us, but we don't care. We're that Millwall podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy Abdul take a share in the kitchen or two. Super Neil Harris, a fucking legend too. Through the good times and in this life, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Ferguson way. Let them walk on, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night right here.
Good evening. Okay, that video was made by a friend of ours, a friend of the show. It was made by a Sheffield United fan, content creator, fella called Johnny Gascoigne, and he suffered from mental health for a while, and he's had his demons. And unfortunately, last Monday, not this week, the week before last Monday, so 2 weeks, obviously coming up Monday, he sadly took his own life. He's 36 years old. He's got 2 kids. And I think the reason what we're talking about him is one that I think it's all too easy to look at statistics. And the statistics are quite worrying when you look at the numbers. When you look at something like this and you see that, so many people throughout the world take their life each year, and it pretty much equates to one person every 40 seconds taking their life from suicide. And in the UK, there's 115 people die from suicide in the UK each week. And 75% of those deaths are male. And the week before last, there was 114 people died. And one of those was a lad called Johnny Gascoigne, who
guys who are watching, just FYI, this is a really important message. It's important for everybody in the country, the world, to realise that this impacts people. It impacts people in different ways.
He was a friend of mine, and I think if you start talking about suicide amongst people, you'll find that it's affected a hell of a lot of people. Hold it together. This is live, and I don't really need to see the world this.
You're doing great, mate. Here you go.
Right. This is the whole purpose of this is to play one video. this video will hit people, and you will remember this video, okay? And we will get onto the proper show, and our message has been done. This video you're going to watch is from Johnny himself, and Johnny made this video probably about 8 days or so before he took his own life. And please remember that when you watch this video and the message, what's in this video, okay? I'm really sorry if anyone's offended, but fuck yeah, I don't care. He was a pal of mine, and I'm going to do good by him, and I'm going to do right by him. And yeah, watch this.
Hello, and thank you for clicking on this video, and welcome to the new season of vlogs here on the Show and View. A bit of a serious note to start, and this won't be every week, but I just want to say thank you for all the support I've received over the last few weeks. Not been in the best of places. It's a strange one because I've had a brilliant year, really. Mental health-wise, I've been doing really, really well. But as men will know out there, it's not always easy to talk about when things do start going wrong. So I want to start this video by not focusing on me, but by focusing on all of you out there. If anybody watching this is having issues with their mental health, is struggling, please reach out to somebody. There's plenty of places you can go to if you don't want to reach out to a friend or family. Great things like Andy's Man Club, great things like the NHS services that they can offer you and put you through to. There's no need to hold it in and struggle. I know men out there go through a lot, and it is very difficult, and we promote it on social media all the time about how it's okay not to be okay, etc., but I know sometimes it falls on deaf ears. So again, thank you for understanding and being patient, and for realising why this is the first vlog of the season, why the new show hasn't been very regular, and why Beer and Breakfast hasn't been here. It's not been right for me to be doing it with what I've been going through. Hopefully now things are on the mend and we can move forward and start bringing out more content for you, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. For those who don't. So yeah, that's it from me. And anybody out there who does need a kick up the arse to just reach out to somebody or someone, please do, because this world's a better place with you, I promise. Up the blades.
Johnny was a big Millwall fan. He knew some of the big guys within Millwall. He knew the Kempsters really well, and whenever they come down to Millwall, he always sat in the Millwall end. And whenever we played them, we always sat in there. So look, the message is simple. We have the Proper Blokes Club. You've got Healing with Luke on social, and we're going to be doing shows going forward where, you know, we can offer a platform where you can talk or bring people in to, you know, give you an idea where we are. But listen, Johnny, you're a legend. You'll always be, and we love you to bits. And hopefully you got peace now, away from your demons and whatnot, mate. And yeah, I think the mental health system unfortunately let you down. But that's enough talking about you fucking northerner. Love you. And yeah, with that, it's time for us to kick on with our show. So thanks for listening. Let's hit the intro and get back onto Millwall stuff. Good evening. Welcome then to Friday Night Live. Let's crack on and do what we do best. We are a Millwall podcast what talks the truth, the honest truth, and nothing but the truth. there are others out there would try to intimidate us or impersonate us even. That's probably the right word. My brain hasn't focused, but no one has me or the terrorist on our channel. Sorry, Omar.
Here we go, right? Straight into it.
That's
Thank
it.
you, mate.
We're going into it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
We lost about your bald slaphead, mate. Don't worry about that.
That's
all right.
that's it. That's it. So, good evening, gents, and welcome. We'll give you a proper intro. I am joined by my Barnet-loving man with his skin fade, the one and only Omar.
What's happening? Hello, hello. The chat said it. I know we were moving on from it sharply as well, but well done, mate. Poignant messages, and you've done Johnny justice there, mate, in the first 10 minutes. And yeah, we had Johnny on the show multiple times before. He's a legend, and yeah, like he's just echo everything you said there, really. But yeah, Preston at home tomorrow. Let's hopefully get off to fucking win. I want us to get a result. Look forward to talking all things Preston at home tomorrow. Let's go.
No, that's it. Me and Johnny were brothers from another mother, mate, because we were both cunts, and we always say that we're both cunts, and we used to sit there and always say, listen, those who like us, those who don't fucking care. And, you know, it's our show, and we used to say it on both our shows that, you know, it is what it is. We do this because we want to. So, yeah. Good evening, Stephen.
It is what it is, guys.
That's it. Good evening, Stephen. How are you? You okay?
I'm very well.
Good?
Yeah, very, very good. Again, just to echo what Omar said and the guys in the chat, Mickey, I thought he spoke really well, spoke from the heart, and it's obviously a subject that means a lot to all of us. Just from me personally, our Twitter handles are under our names. If anybody ever did want to reach out, please feel free to drop us a message. It might help.
On that, if, for instance, I don't know, because of the way Twitter's gone now, if you can't get into our DMs or we're not following you or whatever, just tag us and say, can you follow me? And we'll follow you back so you can DM us, or info@thatmillwallpodcast.co.uk. We'll take you straight through to us, and there'll be access there. So, you know, our things are always open. The proper men's club, hailing with Luke, who's in the chat, his YouTube channel. There's lots of options what you got. Even Millwall, if you reach out to Millwall have people there what will be able to answer you and talk to you and offer help, advice, and whatnot. So I've gone to Millwall before to get into a fan and send them a message who was on the darker side, and they come through Trump. So it's all there. But still, look, thank you very much. I don't want to drag it out all the way through the show because he wouldn't have wanted it. He'd be sitting there now calling me a cunt if we carry on talking about him too much. He is a northerner, and you know, that's it. But he is a top bloke, and yeah, lummed a bit. So yeah, right. Good evening, Frankie. Before I nearly forgot about you, fella, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. So we're coming to Frankie's match figures later. I think that will be a new feature. I think we'll have to get you a jingle, I think. Do you know what I mean? So I think first things first, gentlemen, before the French guy moans at me something rotten, it looks as if we have to go into something first, which is that.
So I'll just pin that now. So last week we had a nice topic of conversation about George Saville being his 200th appearance for Millwall. And Bailey's in the chat as well. And yes, I do still think George Hyman is God's gift to football. 1,000,000%. Anyway, we'll come to George Hyman in a minute. But Frankie shit sandwiched George Saville a bit. He gave a good, then a bit of a bad, then tried to save it at the end of his comments. And I did say at the time if Stephen was here to defend him, Stephen would defend him to the hilt. And I did too, Stephen. Don't worry. I did George Saville justice. I thought he had a corker on Saturday just gone, by the way, for what it's worth. I thought he had a really good game against QPR. So, Frankie, what did you make of his performance on Saturday first?
Can I just defend myself, my slander? Steve, I don't know if you caught it last week, mate, but I stick.
I did, yeah.
I'm still not that sure what he's good at, but he's obviously doing something because whenever he plays, we play better. And I said at the time, it's a football opinion I'm probably wrong on, but I'm sticking by it. And I'm still not sure what he does. But he's doing something because we play better on the pitch, isn't he? So, yeah, but I thought we played well against QPR, to be fair. Proper settled performance.
You want to come back at him, Stephen?
Stephen, any words after the comments last week?
He's just a general. He's just a general. I think there's an argument. There's always an argument that could we have maybe a better technical player in there, to keep us ticking. But what he does all of the, for me, the donkey work that, and the kind of the sort of, back in the day you used to have like Steve Morrison that would go down to the corner flag and when you're throwing, when you're a corner, keep, have that. Sav wins that's his kind of role. The dark arts, I think, is probably the best way to describe him. 200 appearances for the club. I just won't ever have a bad word said about him, but I can accept that perhaps he is limited, but in those crunch moments like last week, without him, we probably go in behind, because the block in the first half was absolutely superb. So he's for me, as I say, I think we need him in the side. I don't think we'll see him perhaps all 3 games this week, because I think that might be a little bit too much for him. But when he plays, he gives us everything, and I'd rather him in the team than not.
I remember a topic of conversation we had on Saturday, actually, or Friday, so before the game, was I went down the route of saying, like, he reads the game well, his positioning is so good as well, and that was epitomised in that block in the first half, like just reading the game and seeing the situation and putting that. I think he's one of those players that his teammates probably appreciate more than the fans, for sure. And I think you see when he got the block in. I think Tanganga went to him, Jensen went to him, like they're all like, they appreciate his efforts on the pitch. Like, and to be fair to Frankie, he didn't shit on his parade, but the opinion was said nonetheless. Anyway, so.
I tell you who don't appreciate him: the refs every week. Because if you watch George Saville every single week, he follows the ref around every decision. Every single decision. And people sort of say Jake Cooper isn't maybe the most vocal, maybe the most natural born leader. Okay, he's got the armband when Hutchinson doesn't play, but he's got a mate in Saville that will do the vocal side of it, the talking, the kind of geeing everybody up. So long may it continue.
What about chances of this one then? Anthony Smith here, South to bag the winner tomorrow. Probably not likely, but based on the topic of conversation, you never know. But he needs to get himself in a position to have to score a goal. He doesn't really do that nowadays, does he? I mean, he's not expected to score many goals. If he does, especially the Neil Harris side, he doesn't really get them shooting opportunities, I feel like. But he does have the occasional surge forwards, I suppose. You never know.
What I would like to know about Saville is, why does he put his shorts so fucking high?
Yeah, Danny just he does, yeah. It does. But right, anyway, Australia rule out for 126, by the way.
I just see that.
Yeah.
Right. What I want to talk about is and I don't know how many of you have seen it. I've watched it, listened to it. Is the Steve Gallen interview, what came out this week. I wish they'd just release it under, without being behind closed doors.
In their defence, Mickey, because I'm sure some from the club might listen to this, they made a point of making it available to anyone that had a Millwall profile, so you didn't have to have a subscription for Millwall TV.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was available to anyone. And I hadn't got around to listen to it yet. I've just been busy with work and stuff, and I didn't get to it yesterday either. But I've got the sound bites. I know, and I do a podcast. I'm being transparent and honest here, guys. I'm being very, very, very honest here.
To be honest to you, I think it's pretty much what we've discussed to a degree.
Yeah, everything's out there in the open, and it echoed more what Berylson said from what I gathered anyway. So
yeah, and I think it was pretty much what was said, but it's sort of, I don't know, it was fucking Baz Lee. Mickey sounding more and more like Del Boy every week. Fucking yeah, his narrative. Love that Gallen has kept his narrative, Mickey, as in what he said at the fans forum. Glad all that didn't. Yeah, no, that's it. What he said at the fans forum was pretty much what he repeated there. But what I liked about it was that he said that obviously Harris had been involved in all the signings. Which was a little bit contradictory of what was said by other people.
That stuff.
What I like about it is that it seems as if James Berylson has a idea and a sounds like Delboy, looks like Denzel. Thanks for that. Yeah. It sounds as if there is a plan now, what wasn't in place before. And I don't think we would have made the signings we made if the previous hierarchy were in charge. And I think
to challenge that, Mickey, though, there is clear direction. But there's surely always a plan before you go into a summer window or any window, right? It's just we've got this plan now, and we're glorifying it because it looks like we're doing this.
Name me a season where we've got all our targets.
Listen, but we can. It's easy to say we've got all our targets. It's easy to come out, and it's all good PR. And I'm not being critical because I'm for the transfers. And we saw Ivanovic briefly on Saturday to touch on that. I thought he looks really sharp and good when he came on. Glimmers of what we could expect to see coming forward from him. I'm excited by the transfer business. I'm not saying that, but we're putting this on a big pedestal. We could talk about as much as we want. The proof of being the pudding, right? As I always say, and that'll be it. What will happen is we'll find out in a year's time whether or not it's been a successful window or not. I'm excited, but all this we've clearly had a plan and stuff. Like you'd like to think we've always had a plan every season. We're clearly more organised now, and the club's got more of a structure of what they're trying to achieve.
I think Gazza hits it on. Sorry, one sec. Gazza hits it on the head there. Gallen's interview confirmed it's now an organisation rather than a collective of individuals that come and go making
I won't
decisions.
dispute that. I won't dispute that. Of course, Stephen.
I would say it's not even about the transfer business. I think it's about how the club's run. I think that someone's finally, the penny's dropped. Someone's finally realised that we can't just keep letting players go out the door for free, and we have to have assets and we have to have players that we can sell, and then that's how you grow a football club. I know we've said it so many times. You look Brentford, Brighton, those kind of clubs. If you watch the first 5-10 minutes of his interview, he says Remain essay about 8 times. It's clear that it's the young players that they see that there's value in that's his job. His job is to identify those young players he quoted from the under 9s to the under 21s that are going to make our football team better. They may not do it as individual players, but the money that they bring in will bring our football club forward.
Do you know out of the whole interview, there was one snippet which I know on first-hand experience. And it was the bit where he said, all our youth now are basically, they get the love. So they'll have someone go see them in action at loan. They'll be told that someone is coming. They'll have time put aside to meet up with that person, have dinner, have a chat, whatever it is, but they'll be told. They'll have phone calls.
Mitchell?
What's that?
Was it Alex Mitchell that made a bit of a dig before that no one had
Yeah. And it was. And he was said that he went out alone for pretty much the whole season, and no one basically got in touch with him. And I think he spoke about it before he left, because I think people at the club spoke to him, Harry spoke to him and whatnot. And I think that if that's the legacy going forward because of Alex Mitchell leaving our club, whether that was the right or wrong decision, if that's the legacy Alex Mitchell has left, that now we as a club, we as an organisation within, now make sure that our youth feel wanted and welcomed and part of our club setup, then you know what? I think we'll sacrifice Alex Mitchell going, because if he does make it big, he'll come back. But, the fact that the players feel wanted and also there's a natural pathway going, then, it's great. Yes, Fleming got sold, but he got sold for a profit, and we're probably still in profit even after everyone we signed so far. So, it's good. Go on, Omar, your thoughts on it?
No, listen, I'm very much a fan of the approach you're doing now, and it's something we spoke about a couple of seasons on this show. We needed this direction. I just think we'll all put it on the pedestal. We'll just have to wait and see. It's all good spinning it as a positive, but the proof will be when we sell SA for 15 or 20 million pounds, or even more next season or the season after. But it will be. There's still more to come. I think the elephant in the room is the manager, because I love Harris to bits, but there's a vision here that Harris is not aligned with quite clearly from his comments in the media. He just needs to get results and focus on that and work on the squad now. And I think he knows that, and that's the key. And it's, we're in a good position. We are. And you're right. We probably made a profit from Fleming, and that probably helped cater to spend the money we did in the summer window. I haven't seen the interview, like I said, and I will listen to it probably before I get down then tomorrow on my way down. But, all the things that are being said, all the things that are being echoed, I agree with, I'm excited about, but I'm not getting carried away just yet, because despite it being, Gannon is obviously in a positive right now, but if we make 3 or 4 shit signings next summer, it will quickly be
No, I
turned.
get that. I think.
I mean,
I
like, I just think, like, just wait and see what happens. And I'm excited. I'm very much for this approach. But at the end of the day, we're still relying on a couple of people's decisions. Even though we took the power away from the manager, which we used to do with Rarrett.
No, it wasn't, though. He said it wasn't.
It's a collective. There's going to be a committee, of course there is. But still, he's the one that's in charge of finding these players. So if it still goes down the future, it'll still be his head on it.
I understand where you're coming from, but you need to listen to it, because what he does do in there is he says, Milo, whatever it is, Milo, was scouted before he come here, probably about a year ago, and he had scout reports and video scouts and everything else looked at it. He was then basically, when he come in, he went to the recruitment team and said, right, what players? And they gave him a list. Milo was one. Basically, his job was, they convince him. If he agrees with them, he would then take it forward to the board and to JB and say, this is a player we want. So we'd check it all out. So Milo was one. Femi was one. Kelly was one. And Coburn was one, wasn't he? What they've been looking at for a year or longer. And, he said that he'd looked at Femi before coming here thinking he's a good championship player. Then when he come here, they went, right, here you go. What about this player? And he said, yep, I thought that, definite. That's a yes. And then he went through the others. So I think that he didn't take any glory himself for the players. He explained that the players were hard work. He even said that he went with Coburn. It's got to be Coburn. That him and Harris got on a train for a half-hour meeting with Coburn, and then basically he then said, yeah, he wanted to come to us, even though other clubs wanted him, but he wanted to come to us. So the fact that they travelled hours up the road on a train for a half-hour meeting to come back shows obviously a commitment.
And I agree with all of that. What my point is like we won't know. Like it's still ultimately Gannon and Harris and JB working together here, and they still will get things wrong. And I'm just trying not to get too high and carried away with it, because this is football and it can change so quickly like that. So I'm excited for sure, but it's just obviously you want to. Not get too carried away with it, should I say? And I agree with what you said there. Like the scout level has improved, the recruitment looks good. There's clearly an angle. What we're trying to do is young players. It's exciting. It's just let's not get too carried away with it. That's all I'm saying.
Can I just say? Sorry, Frankie. That rumor was fucking started by Jay last week. I don't think there's anything in there. I've heard that they might want to, but I've heard that the prime one in focal there, mate, is Liverpool.
Long-term replacement for Elise. I can see it for SA to go to Palace, to be honest. Don't want it to, but I can see it. Go on, Frankie. What do you want to say, mate?
Well, I will say, Galen, I think the first thing that stood out for me was watching it was how positive he spoke about club areas of the club that probably got a little bit of stick throughout the window. Like the recruitment team got a lot of scrutiny, and how glowing he was telling. On having a strategy, I completely agree. We all said it's nice to see having a bit of a recruitment strategy and a long-term plan. What I would say is to give a little bit of credit to the old regime. When you're seeing the likes of SA coming in, having an impact, Amaku having an impact, and Fleming bought for low money and then being sold for a lot more, it's a lot easier to then commit to that plan, isn't it? Which I think is what we've done. I think we've just committed to the strategy. But you'd already seen some of the fruits of that labour, and I think that's probably why we've done it. If Fleming was an absolute shower, there's no way we'd have been signing more players from abroad. It wouldn't have happened.
No. I also think the other thing with the whole strategy and planning, Omar, I'm going to agree with you to a certain extent. For Millwall's plan and this strategy to work, we have to remain in the Championship this season. 100%. Because if we stay and these players get a year of experience, okay, we might not be challenging or whatever that looks like. Even if we finish one place above the relegation zone, if we stay at this level, all of those players' values go up. Tanganga, SA, I would imagine Ivanovic is another one that potentially Aziz, again, I'm not convinced, but you never know. That's the big thing. Harris has to, whatever happens, he has to find a way to keep us in this division. By hook or by crook, it doesn't matter. Once that happens, if that happens, then Gallen's plan, JB's plan, the moving forward of the club, that's when it can really rock it. But you're right, we can't get caught up in it now. It'll be get safe, and then let's see how far it can take us.
Oh, I think we'll be safe this season. I don't think we're going down at all. And I'm boldly put it there and go, we are safe this season.
I think the same too, mate. But the fact is, we're not getting results. It's just we need to garner some momentum here, and hopefully tomorrow is the perfect time to do it. We get momentum going. We go to Cardiff on Tuesday, who are a bit in turmoil. You know, have they announced a new manager yet? I don't think they have, unless I've missed it.
No.
You know, so like we've got an exciting week coming up and then we go to the tricky West Brom side that are flying in a minute. So we need to pick up at least one win this week. And it's got to hopefully come tomorrow because we've got to keep the home form up. You know what I mean? And it's about trying to bounce back and get out.
That's it. I mean, this is another good point. What Mark raises from the interview, he said he kind of intimated that there was a collective opinion on Milo that everyone said yes. It was something like 15 opinions, and it was overwhelming to get him in. And it really seems like a better system. I think that's correct. I think what he's done is he's on one aspect expanded the scouting network, but also listened to the scouting network and said, right, we're dealing with this by, majority rule. If majority says that they think this player would benefit this club, then he would take it forward and start looking at it and start going the view. And as he said, he went to Serbia to watch. He had his scouts do it, then video scouts, then someone else, and then they all basically gave back the same report but said yes. So he went out there himself and watched a couple of games. And don't forget, he was playing in Europa League last season. So the fact that he said, obviously, as well, that there is a Russia that, the club wanted to sell him to Russia. He didn't want to go. He wanted to come to London. And again, if I'm honest with you, and let's not try and powder coat it, he's come here for the same reasons that Fleming come here.
100%.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
basically to put himself in the shop window. But you know what? He's young. We've paid not a lot for him, potentially. And the fact is, he is a fucking quick striker. And there ain't many of those about nowadays. So potentially he could demand top money. If he starts getting European, if he starts getting national games, if he's playing in the national team on this next window, potentially his value is going to double to what we paid for him. So it's already a win-win.
Music to our ears, mate. I love that. And I agree. But what's scary? So obviously, I'm sure the conversation with Tanganga was similar. You're going to sign for us. If we achieve, you achieve with us. If you achieve and we don't achieve, you can go elsewhere. And that's fine. I'm happy with that. And that's fine. But what's the scary part about all of this for me is you saying the scout's gone to watch him in Serbia. Then another scout's gone. So I assume a chief scout. Then the head of recruitment's gone to watch it. Why have we never been doing this? Because the way they're talking about it is like it's a new thing. Most clubs do this. Do you know what I mean? What's scary is we're that far behind as a club. And I feel like we all knew it.
We have to know, won't we?
Yeah, we all win it down, but it's scary. We used to just be like, Mason Bennett used to work with Barrett, let's sign him. Scott Malone used to be here before. He's also worked with Barrett, let's sign him. Oh, Ryan Woods. Keith Dunbald. I used to have you at Birmingham. Let me sign you. And it's scary that was the way it was, and we all saw it and all commented about it. But this is what's weird is this ain't new to football. This whole having a scout watch someone and then you watch him over the course of 5, 6, 7, 8 games. I think he's good. Let's flag him up to the boss. We've got a real talent here. And then the head of recruitment goes out there. This ain't fucking new revolutionary thing. It's scary that this is all it is, though. Why has Millwall never been doing this before?
Because of the hierarchy, what we had here before, there was a boys' club mentality. And also, if you speak to people within, and Frankie, I know you've got some sources within, and you'll probably back me up on this, is that the youth development side of the club was looked upon as a dirty word. They weren't really communicated with and all that. And allegedly, Gallen speaks to Scott Fitzgerald every day, finding out how players are doing. and then obviously relaying that to Harris, and Harris is speaking to him now. And I think the whole direction of the club has just gone in a completely different direction to where it was, a year ago, 6 months ago, to where it is now. Even he was even honest about Tango, where he said, the reason things took so long was Tango wanted to look around and see what was out there. And then he decided that actually the best option was us. Coburn, he said that basically he wasn't released by his club until the last minute. Again, with the Serb, he wasn't released to be available until the last minute. He said about Femi that the state of play within Reading basically mean that it was impossible because one guy couldn't sign paperwork, someone else couldn't, and it was like literally a nightmare. So he said, we made a choice. Do we stick with what we want, or do we move on to a lesser target? And they made the collective decision, let's stay, let's do it. And he said that was a difference where normally you would just move on, but we stayed firm, we stayed solid, and in the end, we got our man. And that's it.
Let's be honest, the last couple of transfer windows prior to this one, we've been scrambling around trying to sign Ollie Burke. That's the transfer process was, who can we get that we know that who's playing for us? Oh, he'll do. So I again, Omar, we've had this conversation a couple of times. I cannot believe that we were run so poorly, but it just suggests that we were for such a long time. Yeah. And this, as you say, I mean, look, we could go on and on and on about the previous regimes and where we're at now. I think we're in a good place as a football club. Okay, the results need to start coming, and I'm sure we'll get onto that. But it is refreshing that we've got this interview with Gallen. We've got an idea on what the plan is. We're looking at the first team and looking at players that are coming and going, right, we have a plan. Whether it's good enough, who knows? But there is a plan, and they will stick to it. And let's see where it takes us.
It's the topic for another day as well. And sorry to cut you, Frankie, there, but the scary thing is we've gone back to Harris because we tried it with someone else and it failed. It really failed. The scary thought here is if Harris leaves, which is likely, I imagine, he probably moves on in the season unless we, outperform and end up being, in the playoffs and he gets us up there, then he deserves everything and more. Like, I love Harris to bits. The scary thing is, though, is if Harris moves on and then we have to get someone else in, what is the identity we're looking for? This is a topic for another day, but it's like we tried it straight away. We weren't in position for Edwards at the time, and we've said this. And I think, I can't help but feel, despite having my doubts about what Edwards did for us, if Edwards had his set of players, I think we'd see a completely different style of play. Like, fuck me, here we go, because that's what he was trying to implement. But the question is once Harris goes, are we going to be a scattergun club and have these people in these positions where it's like sack, or chop and change all the time? And that's the
I think
you don't know though.
But listen, what you wanted, and don't make me dig into the vault and fucking bring out the shows of you bitching week in, week out about what we need from a director of football. We need a system. We need this. We need that. We've now seemed to be getting that.
But the one critical thing I've got of modern day football is the people that are in charge of too much power over the manager. And it's a fine balance. But the one criticism I have is whenever shit goes wrong, it's the manager's fault. And whenever things go good, it's because the boys upstairs done a good job. And that is the normal consensus of a lot of football clubs. And that's the fear I have, where if we give Gallen the voice to talk to the public, which was great to see. I hope it's a one-off and we don't hear from him again until next summer when we're signing more players. If we start to hear more from these people and they're like, we've done this, we've done that, it's refreshing to see. It's brilliant. But my fear is you just need to let now he's spoken, let the manager get over his job between now and January window. Let Harris do the talking on the pitch with these players. But my 100%. Fear is, this is my fear, in the future, if this is the new thing where you've got these people in there that are trying to change things, implement things, be the new modern day style of things, I'm for it. My thing is, though, let's not go too far the other way. It's good,
I don't think we'll see another interview from Gallen.
I hope so. But
I don't think we will.
Then it's
I think he had to. I think the club had to do an interview with Gallen for the PR exercise, what needed to be done, because there'd been so much negativity around, players what aren't my choice, or players at this, and it needed to come out, and we needed to hear it from Gallen's mouth as such to say, Of course, it was a joint decision. Of course, it was this. This is how long we've been doing this. This is how long we've been doing that. And I just have to pull up a point what Andrew Roberts says, and I agree with you. For a good while, we didn't have any European scouts. We just didn't do it. And then, let's be honest with Fleming. Fleming come in not because of European scouts, because of the man who I will not name, as you two were both laughing, thinking I was going to mention him, because he had previous experience with him. And that's the only reason that they'd watched him, and then we watched him, and we got him in on very, very cheap for a team that was banging trouble. And yeah, he was always going to be leaving us. And that's it. I'd be interested to know who the other team was who come in for him.
I must admit, sorry, the reason I was laughing was Bailey's still on at Omar. Mate, he is out for you.
Still never met you, Bailey. Still never met you.
No, not that one. There's one later on.
Yeah, the thing is, right.
To be fair to the club, though, sorry, and I don't know, I agree with what Omar and Steve said about it is concerning that it's such so simple things, and now we're sitting there patting on the back, going, "Well, congratulations for being half functioning." How many clubs in the Championship do you actually look at and go, "Yeah, they're well run"? I reckon 75% of the clubs in this league are an absolute basket case.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You can stumble over the line by being just semi-competent, and you look like you're shitting miracles in this league.
What a saying! That needs to go on a hoodie, doesn't it? Shitting miracles. Do you know what I mean? We need to have a big speech bubble, didn't you? With shitting miracles, Millwall fan, Millwall supporter. Do you know what I mean? Quote. That will be there in years to come, like the Einstein quote. What wasn't Einstein? But yeah, it'll be is what it is. Where the fuck is the chat messages gone?
They're still, the comments are still there. What are you on about?
No, in the private chat, all the notes aren't there anymore.
Because you left, it came and left. You've missed out on it now.
Oh, okay.
I'll resend it for you. But go on, keep going, mate. You steer the ship. Go on, you keep going.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a few points what we've raised, and one what's been a discussion point, all week has obviously been, I think we moved forward from Gallon and whatnot. God.
I was just about to message you. I know what you.
Yeah, I've literally just messaged you as well, mate.
Oh, fucking hell, mate. Kevin, we don't know each other. I've seen you on the videos, and we have mutual friends. And if I don't see you before, I will see you on Saturday the 18th. Yeah. Oh, God, these people are getting me. Just while I'm there, Sunday night, please just have me in your thoughts, because obviously Johnny used to host a Sheffield United show, and I've basically offered to host the show so that the guys who used to do the show with him can come on and talk about Johnny and whatnot. And they didn't really have the thingy to guide things along. So I just went, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one. But yeah, no. But condolences to you, Kev.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your boy was a one-of legend, and I still keep listening to the messages where he calls me a shandy drinking southern fairy and southern cunt. And yeah, at some point I'll put these on, and you can hear the amount of abuse that fucking used to give me all the time. But listen, it's weird for someone who you didn't really know, as in not like I know these guys and I've been out drinking with them and all that. I probably met him face to face once, but I used to speak to him all the time. Like, me and him never used to be able to sleep. We both had an issue. We both have an issue with sleep, and these guys know that my sleep issue is an issue. But we used to have mad conversations about all sorts of shit, from video editing to writing new theme tunes to thumbnail designs at 2:00 in the morning. And one night we sat up from about 1:30 to about 3:45 in the morning, basically writing songs for each other for our theme tunes. And I've got all of those, and I sent them to one of his mates. But yeah, it's he's a top bloke who will be missed, mate. And yeah, it's it is what it is.
And
so yeah,
just
there is a GoFund page what another Sheffield show's put up for raising some money towards the funeral. So I'll post that in the link, and if anyone wants to donate, please do. But all I will say is Johnny was as much a Millwall fan as he was a Sheffield United fan, unless we were playing each other, and then he was just a red. But other than that,
Just to echo, Mickey, what you said, and there's a comment from Alex about supporting you. I know doing a Sheffield United show wouldn't be easy for any of us, but I'm sure we'll all give you. I know we give you a bit of grief, but we'll give you a bit of support, and obviously condolences to Kevin as well. From all of us.
100%.
So yeah. The other part what I wanted to get into is obviously we've done the Gallen interview. It's nice that we're becoming a selling club, which may be in, but I want to discuss. I don't know how much you went into it last week, but there seems to be fucking loads of it this week across social media and whatnot. And some of Gallen's biggest critics were probably regretting seeing that video we did, because it's sort of, I don't know, it's made everyone double think things. So yeah, but the number 10 role, right?
God,
I'm going to ask it. I weren't here last week.
Bailey, how are you in the comments, mate? Let's go.
So, right.
Can we get Bailey in on this show?
Bailey, get in touch and we'll get you on next week's show, and it will just be you and Omar fucking going at each other. We're doing.
He likes to hide behind a keyboard. I don't know who you are, Bailey, but you like to hide behind a keyboard, mate. Come on.
How much for a charity boxing match?
Well, do you know what? What we will be doing is I've tested, and it will be another test this week. You'll see something, but I've now got a bit of kit where the Friday night lives will grow, or the live shows like this will grow, where we will be bringing Twitter Space into this space. So I have a mixer what works, and I can do some sound effects and I can do some other bits and pieces. So yeah, we will be able to have some fully interactive shows going forward, hopefully as of next Friday. So Bailey, if you want to come on and give it to Omar, just get in touch.
The number 10 position, Mickey. What do you want to know about it? Tell me.
I want to know who you think should. So you obviously think that Honeyman shouldn't be there. Who do you think should be there? Or do you think that Neil is playing him there because he believes that he can be the man?
Listen, for what it's worth, George Honeyman's played number 10 position for Sunderland, Hull, all prior to us being here with us. He's not offering the same qualities on the ball as SA, and I've never said he has done. But I think what he offers is when you have teams that look after the ball, he's that second pressing forward that looks to try and close teams down. If you watch back to the QPR game Saturday, there was countless times where Honeyman wins the ball on the halfway line and bang, we're on our way. There was one time in the first half, I think it was when Langstaff got his pot shot away. He wins the ball, Watmore travels down the left, it goes into Langstaff, and then Langstaff gets a shot onto the near post and he misses, right? Honeyman is the defensive attacking midfielder in that sense. And I've never, ever said otherwise. SA, I always thought personally is better off the right. But the more that...
Do you know what makes that more funnier? Is that Honeyman is David Beckham in Omar's eyes.
I don't know. No.
No, read the comment.
I've seen it. I've seen it. No, I know. Move on. Anyway, but for me, Honeyman is a brilliant pressing midfielder, and Honeyman offers so much for that reason, yeah? I always thought SA is better on the right, but the more I've seen SA grow into this season, you got to play him in the middle where he can destroy teams. You have to. But he does so well cutting in from the right, having the free roll to come across into the middle of the pitch. You kind of want him to drift in there, and he's so effective on the right side. I think long-term, SA will be a number 10, but I can see... SA moving into the middle. I can. I don't know. What do you reckon, boys? Who's coming in next?
Can I just say, in George Honeyman's career, his goal record is 1 in every 11 and a half games. Now, that's across Sunderland, Hull, Millwall, and a spell at Gateshead. So I get the whole defensive. I get his work rate, his pressing. Would we have been happy with Zian Fleming putting in the work rate that George Honeyman does, but didn't score any goals after he come in as a record transfer? Would we have been happy with that?
Some people, though, and I was going to touch this anyway. As a fan base, you have this terrible habit of focusing on what players aren't good at rather than what they are good at. People dealt with Fleming. Like, he'd score goals, people would sit there and say, yeah, but he doesn't work hard. He ain't creative. And now people sitting with Honeyman going, yeah, he works hard, but he doesn't do much. People did want that from a number 10, and now we've got it. Now people don't. But this is just the nature of football fans, I think, that we look at all players' faults rather than their strengths.
To be positive about these though chances he's had, right? Against what was the first game of the season? Watford, he has one clear off the line. He should have scored it. He had 2 bites of the cherry, didn't he, against Watford? Portsmouth in the cup, he should have scored in the second half. SA does brilliant down the left, and he has a goal to aim at and he hits the keeper. And then Saturday, at the time, I thought he couldn't get to it, but I've seen the replays and seen the game back, and I'm like, he should have got there. But then, yeah, he should have scored. He should have scored, but I think he's offering a lot in that 10 position that is almost going unnoticed. He should have scored, though. I won't ever doubt that. He should be sitting on 3 goals so far this season. And if he did, you could be saying we could be sitting on 3 wins, or, it could have been a very different story.
Would you, or in your opinion, how many clubs in the Championship would want a defensive number 10 or a number 10 that scores goals? What would you say in that position?
Would I want Fleming or Honeyman? I'd want Fleming. If you say Fleming is the goal scorer in 10, for example, I'd want Fleming. Of course I would. That's
the thing for me. I don't think I've ever said that George Honeyman isn't good enough. I just don't think he's the right player for the 10. He offers us so much. But if you're asking him to play in a role where the key aspect of a number 10 is to provide goals, whether that's himself scoring or assists.
But if you're playing out wide and SA's creating chances, you could then sacrifice a little bit of creativity from the 10 because SA's doing the business out wide.
But could you get more out of SA in the middle?
You had 2 luxury. He had a 10 and he had SA on the right. SA's worked on his defensive game so much as tracking back. But if you had 2 creative players that don't track back, could you maybe get more exposed to the opposition attacking on you? Is Honeyman offering more because of where he's playing? And then we've got SA the free license on the right. If you had 2 SAs in that team, how open would we be defensively?
But you don't need 2 SA, do you?
Honeyman's there.
You could have SA and a Marku, or
I don't know if Frankie just said it, but I think what he just said actually if he said SA's playing back as a Honeyman, I would agree. If that's what he said.
I don't think it's
because they're so industrious and hard working. I think Honeyman's hard work is making the 2 get more license to play. I do think that. I massively think that.
I think you're right.
I also think for Harris, I think it's hard because whilst the side's playing well, we are creating chances. There's a temptation to not change it. So whether you think Honeyman should be there or not, I can see why he's not tinkering with it. A time will come when he does. When that time comes, I'm not sure. But
can we just stop?
I think he's doing a job, isn't he?
No, can we just stop with Frankie? Because Frankie will have his limelight in a minute with Frankie's match facts for the upcoming game. But yeah, Frankie isn't making the numbers up. That's slanderous and not nice. Do you know what I mean?
So Frankie, start suing him. Start throwing out suing allegations in a minute.
I like that one there. Look, is Frankie the sub that gets called on for 10 minutes? And then there's another one there. Look, the French boy. Look. Frankie is our George Honeyman, okay?
What's he good at?
Very good, Mickey.
Oh, that's going to stick. That's going to stick now.
It is true, though, doesn't it? You add something to the team. It's just that the viewers can't fucking figure out what yet. So, you know what I mean? We know what you bring because otherwise we wouldn't have you on.
Very
just
good,
the viewers.
So it's a bit like... That's the funniest thing you've said in a while, Mickey. Well done, mate. Proud of you.
You're all bastards, including everyone in the chat. Fuck you all.
It's right, but they do say the truth hurts. And I did say to you that you will get abuse. When you get abuse from the viewers and the listeners, it means they love you. So it means you're part of the team. So don't worry. And as a reward, I will make you a jingle for next week for your match stats. Okay, trust me, I will make you a jingle. So yeah, because I have a new toy what gives the echo, so it's good. Right. The other question, Frankie, is your bits, your talking points. Do you want to, before we go into the match things, was obviously we touched on it briefly before, but you mentioned obviously, where is it? We touched on it very briefly last week, but after Harris's interview again, mentioning being bored of giving other teams points they don't deserve. A question is to you three boys, because I know fuck all about football, as everyone knows, but are we in a false position?
So, we touched upon this a bit last week. It'd be interesting to see what the chat thinks this as well. But I mean,
take your question, take the lead.
Statistically, you would say we should be a lot higher in the league. We should be about 6th to 8th. We're clearly not. So I guess, I mean, I'm hoping out. Do we think we're in a false position? And if we are, why? And what needs to change to sort of get us back to where we think we should be? Or do you not really buy into the whole stats thing and we are where we deserve to be for a reason? And I mean, yeah, open it up. What do you two think?
It's twofold for me. One, the table, you shouldn't take. It's impossible not to take notice of it, but you shouldn't take notice of it to after 10 to 12 games. Kenny Jackett always said 12 games in the season. It's always stuck with me because I was young at the time. It's impressed that on me in a sense. Anyway, 10 to 12 games is where you were at in that stage of the season, how you're getting on. If you're in the relegation zone, you're having a struggling season. If you're in the top 6, you're going to have a good season after 10 to 12 games. That's how I've always interpreted that. So it's still too early to look at the table. But what I will say is I like the idea of XG. I like the idea of the statistics and stuff like that as well. But if you're there after 10 to 12 games, you've got to look back on it and go, the table doesn't lie. It's the only barometer you should really go by. But there is positives to be seen in the performances for sure. I think.
Sorry.
You're laughing away. But no, I think, look, give it 10 to 12 games, see where we're at the end of October, then I'll pass judgment about how we're getting on, I think.
Lions Raw says Frankie is like Matt Letitia, does fuck all for 85 minutes and then comes out with a worldie.
I'll take that, mate. I'll take a worldie.
On the are we in a false position? I think yes, and I do buy into the stats to a certain extent. Personally, I think someone put in the chat, I don't know if we've gone past it. We haven't really played anyone, in my opinion, that I consider that's actually that good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Watford weren't great, Bristol City weren't great, Hull, who were tipped for, you know, their owners, you know, making all these statements about wanting to compete, they've been poor. So I do think there's a hint of that. We traditionally play better against the better teams, so maybe that will continue. If it doesn't, then there could be a few problems. For me, the biggest issue is that we've identified a way of how we're going to play it, and we're creating more chances, but we still have the same old problem. We don't have anyone to actually put the ball away. Duncan Watmore's doing it to a certain extent, but it's when the ball's dropping in the middle, that's not where Duncan Watmore is. We need someone in the middle of the pitch, whether it's the number 10, whether it's the centre forward, to finish off chances. So there is a false position. I get the whole argument about you know, it's a results business and after 10 games, etc. But personally, I have to say I'm enjoying watching us play at the moment. I enjoy the games. We're playing reasonably good football. Okay, it's not prime Barcelona, but I am enjoying it. It just would be nice if we could finish off some of the chances and actually be rewarded for our efforts.
We're on course to score 72 goals this season if you go by stats. We've got 9 and 6. It's not bad. If you tell me we done the questions at the start of the season, didn't we say if we're going to score more than 60 goals this season, Stephen?
I know.
72 goals in a season for Millwall standards is fucking unbelievable. You're right. You're criticising the shots being taken. You're right to an extent because we've had the opportunities. But we've still scored a lot, and we're actually doing all right, better on reflection to where we've ever done at this point of the season. It's just we've not converted them to wins.
We've missed more big chances than any other side in the league, which is a fact.
Yeah,
it is an odd one because I do think we've been unlucky, but you can't sit there and say we've been unlucky over 7 games because eventually that doesn't really start adding up, does it? You feel like you're in bit in denial. But I mean, do you think anything needs to change to start turning these good performances into wins?
What I will say as a criticism, to Saturday, but also positive, if you look back at their goal, we had 7 or 8 players in the box, in the opposition box against QPR. We threw bodies forward and we left ourselves 3-on-3 and they scored.
And that's why they scored, yeah.
And that's why they score. Because last season we had 3 players in the box. We're going attacking. We're going for it. So these things will happen. We will concede goals. But if you look back at that goal, we was playing on the left, put a ball in the box, or we lost the ball in cheaply, and then bang, it was 3-on-3. And they took it well, to be fair to them. You could probably argue Tanganga could have covered over a bit more because Cooper was going close to the ball. The runner kind of got away from Tanganga and he finished it with aplomb. Like, you can't, you see, you look back at that goal, but we threw bodies forward, which is something we've never done under Harris. Like, from all the time I've known, like, we've had Harris in charge, we're throwing players forward to have a go. So, like, so the stats, you could say 1-0, then try and defend it out, and we probably could have done against QPR on Saturday, but we're still going for it and making chances. It's good.
So I think largely, we probably all agree that we are maybe in a slight false position. We should be probably higher up than we are, but we are where we are for a reason. So, I mean, what would we want to see? And guys in the chat again, put it in. But what would we want to see different to start making these dominant performances actually turn into 3 points? What do you think we need?
I hate to say it, and I hate to keep bringing it up, and I know that we've already spoke about it, but someone in the middle that's going to finish the chance, whether that's Langstaff. I actually thought, I know he was voted man of the match, and a part of me feels like there's a little bit of, trying to give him some confidence, but I really thought Langstaff played excellent. He played really, really well on Saturday, but he didn't get that moment where he had a real good chance. He would have got it when they scored, because I think Brian tries to find Langstaff, and if the ball gets through to him, he's in the middle of the box. He's got a chance on goal. Unfortunately, we lose the ball and they go and score. But we have to. I personally don't. I can accept us trying to get a second goal to try and finish teams off than holding on to a 1-0, giving it away because you're just sitting at the back and thinking, how have we let? I mean, I few of us were there on Saturday. I thought QPR were absolutely woeful.
Shit. Yeah,
they were absolutely woeful. They were there for the taking. We created the chances. We just didn't have someone to finish it off. Now, we'll come to our teams later. I think there's going to be real discussion point again around whether George Honeyman would make it in our teams or not. But put someone in the middle that can finish off those chances, we find ourselves firing up the table. To me, that's the change that needs to be made.
I think sooner rather than later, because Ivanovic looked bright, if Langstaff continues his form and Ivanovic gets his opportunities played really well, and if they both are impressing, the elephant in the room will be Harris going to a 4-4-2.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the future, yeah.
And if the pair of them are both playing well, and say Langstaff scores on Saturday, and Ivanovic comes off the bench and scores as well, and we win, say 2 or 3-0, the argument to keep the same team. But if they both keep playing really well in their short spells, and they're both, you could say, obviously we talk about Honeyman's position as well, and you'd have to sacrifice Honeyman in this side if they're both scoring goals. I think 4-4-2 could work with these two, and I think mobility of the pair of them as well will cause trouble for the sides in this league. I was so impressed. I didn't know what to expect of Ivanovic because I've only seen snippets online, but he looks quick. He looks a handful as well. And it surprised me because he looks tall and a bit kind of slim, but he was also throwing it about quick.
Yeah, there was one bit where he
chased down the keeper.
Was it done? Their centre back, he absolutely smashed him. You sent him into next week. You think you love that from a 19-year-old,
and he was running the channels at times. Him and Aziz were linking up as well, and I saw it and I thought I could see a 2 up top it. Or you could even argue you wouldn't want to say Watmore from his position, but you could have Langstaff off the left, and then maybe Watmore on the right, and Essay in the middle, and then have Ivanovic up front. There's combinations there, but it's a great thing for Harris to have a problem with. I've not seen the news or anything, but has Aziz been ruled out injured yet after the other night? Has anything come out about it? Is it because he went off injured or 35 minutes, didn't he? He limped off against whoever in the 21s, didn't he?
It sounds like it was a precaution because there was nothing to come out.
I actually thought as well, and no one actually confirmed he was injured though, did they? No, I don't think anyone actually said that.
No.
Do you not think though that Aziz got about 15-20 minutes against QPR and Maku got no minutes? So clearly, were they not giving Maku more minutes in the 21 game and just saying to Aziz, right, you only got 10-15, we'll give you 30 odd and take you off and keep you. I don't know if he's actually injured or not. So
I think there's a lot of mind games. There seems to be a lot of mind games this season. So we'll wait and see on there. But yeah,
I think Dan Riggs' comment about corners is interesting because Andrew Roberts has gone back at him as well. So Dan's put the two up, Mickey. Dan Riggs' comment. So the floated corners, I agree. We're not looking dangerous from any set pieces at the minute. Like, we just stick it up to the back post, aim it for Cooper, but teams are blocking Cooper from getting to the ball. It is becoming a bit predictable.
I don't know if any of you watched City versus Arsenal. I'm guessing you did. But it's obviously a lot been made of Arsenal as set piece coach, aren't they? And they're just ridiculous set pieces. You do sit there and think, like, if Millwall do want to be a proper club and we actually want to function in a normal way, get a set piece coaching for fuck's sake.
You're going too modern for my liking, mate. Utter woke nonsense. No, thank you.
No,
That's too modern for my. That's too modern for my liking, mate.
Omar wants.
Get a set piece coach, mate. We'll be top half.
Nah. Omar wants a season of about 297 corners being floated to Jake Cooper at the back post, and he won't have nothing else.
No, I want Cooper to go the end of it and score a fucking goal.
That's what Arsenal do. The whole thing is about creating space for your best header of the ball. That would be Jack Cooper.
Yeah,
so if you're a set piece coach, mate, you'd be a millionaire.
4-4-2, 2 wingers, have a go. Have a go.
That's it. Right, shall we start to talk about Preston, and let's have Frankie's. I'm gonna give a little intro bit again. Another one, what Johnny, another image what Johnny made for us. So I'm going to play with this one, and then after that, it will be Frankie with his match numbers for tomorrow's game, and then we'll start talking about Preston. You okay with that, Frankie?
Yeah,
Straight after this, then. Got it, Johnny. The show, or the floor even, is yours.
Frankie does stats. Here we go.
Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone that tuned in last week, I got dogs abuse for the stats being negative, but we were bang on. It was a 50-50 record against QPR that played out, and they come from behind to get points, and that did happen. So, hopefully, the stats for this week come at play out, because this is much more positive. We'll start with XG. I know not everyone really agrees with it, but we'll do it anyway because it does give you a bit of a flavour. If you look at the differential if you look at XG, the amount of goals we should have scored compared to what we should have conceded, we're in the top 6. Preston in the bottom 4. So they do not create chances, and they do concede chances. In our last 10 games against Preston, we're unbeaten, and we've won 6 of them. So again, very, very positive. And they've not won their last 5 away games at the Den. They've only scored 2 goals in them 5 games. So they're not, dare I say, traditionally, they don't come down to the Den. They're particularly dangerous. Pressure's on there, Chris, mate. Cheers for that. Yeah, they're not particularly dangerous when they come down to the Den. So hopefully that continues. And just a bit more widely, they haven't won a game away from home since March. So
you are making me so nervous. It's unbelievable now. This is ridiculous.
Can't pick us up too much, mate. Go on.
I'm not picking us up, mate. And when I looked at these stats earlier, my first thought was, fuck me, 2-0 Preston, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, so they played out last week, pretty much bang on. Hopefully they play out this week. I was trying to look through their best players and stuff and who to call out, but they've only scored 3 goals this year, and they've all come from different players. So there's no one you're looking at going, oh, he's a real threat. I've always been impressed by Brad Potts, the right back. He's always causes problems, and I think Joe Bryan's going to have a good game to keep him quiet. Because going forward, he does offer a bit of a threat for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone watched their game against Blackburn during the week. On the weekend. Sam Greenwood got sent off, so he's gone. He's suspended.
Yeah.
We had another player that bit someone.
I see that.
Who didn't get sent off, but he has now been he's been charged by the FA, but he probably will play on Saturday because they've got till Monday to appeal. So, bit someone, but he will play. So that's interesting.
Daily Millwall says Dracula is allowed to play.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so hopefully it's the same as last week, and the stats actually come to reality. Because fuck me, that is overwhelmingly positive, isn't it? But as we said, if you're going, it's smart money's on Preston now, I guess.
By the way, Bailey is your biggest fan. Bailey loves the stat. So yeah, so Bailey he's your biggest fan and is Omar's biggest hater.
Nemesis.
Go figure. Are you related to Bailey anyway?
That's my Twitter account. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I said fuck all because I was tweeting Omer abuse, didn't have time.
Do you know what? I could really, I love that. Look. Frankie is in my, that really makes more sense that that's you posting that. Do you know what I mean? So come on in, Omar.
I have a stat for it.
Omar, give us your thoughts on Frankie's, was it frankly speaking stats?
Frankly speaking, I like it.
Yeah, I like that as well. And give us it.
It's stats point in our favour, don't they? Listen, they've changed their manager already this season. Paul Higginbottom or Heckingbottom. What is it? Heckingbottom, right? How do you ever say his name's in charge there?
Heckingbottom.
Paul Heckingbottom. Used to be the old Sheffield United manager, funny enough. See, that's been mentioned tonight a few times. But yeah, I think he's obviously quite like a Gary Rowett, I feel like, or John Eustace. He tries to set the team fine. There we go. He's kind of, he's kind of in that position where he likes to be a bit pragmatic in game, try to set teams up to compete, not get beat in a sense. He probably suits Preston, to be fair, in that sense. But look, I think we just need to go out from the blocks tomorrow. Sheffield Wednesday performance all over again, just up and at them. And that's got to be the plan of action tomorrow, surely.
Heckingbottom had an interesting interview during the week. He was talking about Harris and Millwall, and he was being complimentary, don't get me wrong, but he said that basically nothing's really changed in a style point of view since he was last at us. He said there'll be a lot of crosses into the box, a lot of reliance on set piece, a lot of route one. I did read that. I think to myself, I'm not sure he's watched this season.
Yeah, and did he actually say them words? And he actually said it as much as that.
Maybe it was probably a bit kinder, but that was the long and short of it. You're thinking, if that's genuinely what you think, you've not watched a second of us playing football, mate, and you're going to get a shock.
But I think also if you're Neil Harris, and you see that kind of posted about his team, that's the team talk. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the ammunition you need. Look what he thinks you guys are. Go out there and do it.
He weren't being sneery. He almost said it like a positive way of they're going to be combative, blah, 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 balls in the box. But that's just not how we've played this season.
Yeah.
So I'm just not seeing it. But it was interesting to read.
Definitely.
I have just looked up that interview, and his exact words were the same type of team, said Heckingbottom. They will put balls into our box, play a lot of long passes, and make a lot of forward runs. So that has to be respected, and we will have to deal with it. That won't change regardless of the personnel. That is really evident in all of their games, and it's difficult to stop a team playing that way. I agree with, I think, Frankie, you just said it yourself. I don't think he's watched us at all this season. I do think there are occasions where we do go long, but I think sometimes you have to. I'd rather than fat them out of the back, get it forward. But I think if he's expecting us to play that style of football for 90 minutes, I think he's in for a bit of a shock tomorrow, personally.
He's got another thing going, hasn't he? That's
I agree. Sorry, I agree with you 100%. If I was Neil Harris, I'd be looking at it going, right, okay, then. Well, we'll see. Yeah,
100%. Definitely agree. Be interesting. I think that is the team talk with your Harris. 100% think that. Like, good reminder of the Prediction League, by the way, Vicky. I haven't done that. I need to do. I've not done tonight's games either.
that is the name of the spin-off show, isn't it? To be perfectly frank.
If you want someone to be perfectly frank merchandise, let me know, and I'll see what I can do.
Don't worry. Our merchandise man is watching this, mate, and he's probably already printing it as we talk. So don't worry about that one.
Have one for free then, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Just to let you know, I have put Johnny's GoFundMe page in the chat on YouTube. If you do want to donate, please feel free to do so. If you don't, it's not a problem. But if you do want to donate, then you're there. Fun time with Frankie. That's quite a good one as well. Fun times with Frankie, or fun time Frankie, or fact time Frankie.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, Frankie says relax. Yeah, we got loads of merchandise ideas now, haven't we? So yeah. I think we've been going for an hour and 15, gents. I think I pretty much the topics what I wanted have all been raised for myself.
Start 11 times now. We want to start 11 to be in predictions now, right?
It is indeed. Well done. Off you go then, Omar. You can start your starting 11. Get your starting 11 in the chat, please. Yeah, we'll go from there. Get your stuff in the chat, and also we'll do predictions once the boys have done their team selection. So, Omar, you go first.
Right, we're playing 4-4-2 tomorrow. I'm telling you that it's my team. In goals, George Honeyman. Right back is George Honeyman. Left back is George Honeyman. The team of George Honeymans wins this league. No, okay. I think a lot of the team will be the same. I suspect from last weekend, to be honest. I suspect Jensen starts in goal. Leonard right back. Tanganga and Cooper. Obviously, we have not spoken about Cooper, but I know it was spoken about in the live in last week. But obviously, him being available was great, and I think he done all right on Saturday, so no reason to change that. Left back Joe Bryan, Denor and Saville in the middle two. I'd play Essay off the right. I'd have Watmore on the left, Honeyman in the 10, being the playmaker he is. And then up front, I have Macaulay Langstaff. I think it'll be an unchanged team. If I pick the team myself, and you was asking me to pick it myself, it'd be 4-4-2. I'd drop Honeyman, or potentially play Honeyman, or it may be out wide, potentially. But and take Essay off because no, I'm joking. And I'd have Essay. If it was up to me, 4-4-2, Essay on the right, Watmore on the left, and Ivanovic and Langstaff up front. That's what I'd go for, to be honest.
Sorry, Omar. Chris, I'll answer you in a sec. It says, Chris, Mickey, can you DM me about where to get that mug? And then Dan Riggs has gone, Chris, Omar is top right of the screen, mate. Chris, I'll answer about the mug when we get to the end of the show.
When I say 4-4-2 as well, in that formation, it'd be a 4-2-2-2. It'd be SA and what more attacking midfielders in a sense, and free roam to get around the pitch. But I think it'll be unchanged tomorrow. I don't see Harris changing it, to be honest. But that's my team. Frankie, what about you, mate?
4-2-3-1. Jensen, Leonard, Jeff, Cooper, Bryan, Denor, Sav, SA, Honeyman, Watmore, and Langstaff. Completely unchanged.
Yeah, I think it'll be unchanged tomorrow. Stephen?
In terms of what I think Harris will do, it'll be unchanged. But I'm similar to you. I would actually go 4-4-2. Just go back to basics. I tell you what would be interesting actually for me would be it go with a 4-4-2, but have the two as to start as Watmore and Langstaff, and have I'd have Essay on the right and perhaps a Marku in off the left hand side, and go with and some a little bit more pace in the team. I think that's probably a little bit too attacking. But if we're going to go over two, everyone's saying no, Coburn and Langstaff, or Ivanovic and Langstaff, or Coburn and whatever. But people have just seemingly disregarded that Duncan Watt was in the form of his life. Like, why would you not give him an opportunity through the middle? But again, I think Harris will play safe, and I think that's a little bit maybe of a far-fetched prediction from me. But same team, same formation. What I would say though is I think that Preston will come tomorrow with a little bit of that, what do they call it, low block, sort of playing for a point, not really looking to do an awful lot. So I think that's where you might see SA and Watmore really start to drift in and kind of flood the middle of the pitch a little bit more, and to try and play through them rather than round them.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, then, get your match predictions into the chat, please. Get them in now. Come on. While you're there, make sure you press like and subscribe if you haven't already. There is only 30 of you tight bastards who have pressed like. And come on, you saw me get all upset at the beginning of it. Fuck me, that must deserve a like, surely. Do you know what I mean? On live, on a live stream. So come on, just press like. Fuck's sake. Ain't hard, is it? Omar, your predictions. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win, Millwall.
I was going to go 2-0, but I also have 3-1 in my mind. I'm going to go 3-1. Langstaff to get 1. Honeyman to get 1, because I've got to rep my boy. He's got to get off the mic at some point. And SA to get the other. 3-1 Millwall.
Frankie?
3-0. Saville, Langstaff, and Cooper. Honeyman with a hat-trick of assists, just to prove that everyone on the podcast hasn't got a fucking clue.
Okay. Charlie Hazlett's gone 4-0 Millwall. Dan Riggs has gone head says 3-0. Wall, Hart says ball draw. Daily Millwall says 3-1 Millwall. Langstaff brace. Doesn't say who scores the other one. Bailey says 3-0.
Yes.
Honeyman times 3.
Go on, Bailey.
No one likes you. Says 1-0 Millwall. Healing with Luke says 3-1 Langstaff. 2 essay with the other. Ken Clark says 3-0. The Lion Blur says 2-1 Millwall. Alex S says 2-0 Macca to break his duck. Andrew Roberts says 2-0 to the Wall. Adam White says 2-0 to the Wall. Mark Murphy says, I am going for 2-0 Essay and Brian. Mark Barrett, Adam Barrett's brother, possibly. He's gone 2-0 Wall. Gazline 22 has gone 3-0. Chris Brown has gone 2-0. Paul Edmead has gone 2-0 to Wall. Wallline 94, 4-0 about time. Carl Braceley says 4-0. Preston 4-0. Langstaff, SA, Casper Denor, Cooper, come on Wall. Millwall. Gaza London says 1-0 Preston. Daniel Burnett says 3-0 Lions.
I thought this after I said this. No one has said Ivanovic has scored. Dan says,
No one has said Ivanovic has scored.
That'd be the icing on the top, right? That would be if he scored as well.
Yeah. Door 11. What's that? Door 11.
Dower
11. Not related. Same haircut though.
I'm gonna go with 2-1. I'm gonna go Preston score first after about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna cane Frankie in our group chat after giving us all these stats about how crap they are and they're not gonna do anything. And then SA and Langstaff will bail us out.
Do you know what I would do? I would do pretty much Langstaff playing in just off the striker behind at the back and play the Serb in front of him. Big man, little man, and just.
Daily Mirror says they can only play 45 minutes max. I mean, I don't know if that's factual, but it's true. He's not had a lot of training recently, has he? He obviously had last week leading into the QPR game. He didn't have a lot of time. So I guess knowing Harris, he'll be managing his minutes and ease him into it. So I don't think he starts tomorrow. I don't think he'd even start against Cardiff, but maybe the week after, if he wants to call him, he'll probably get a day.
That's it. Yeah, no, that's it. Let's go through some of these comments. So we've done that one, very off topic. We're going to there. The last I heard, they were doing further tests. Those of you who are at the what do you call it? There are further bits and pieces being done there. But again, the new training ground. But again, I think the new training ground is well off area, and I think it's something what Gallen has mentioned is that it puts us well out of where all the talent is. The talent's in Southeast London, and it will put us right out there. So yeah. Any clues on the players that Gallen said wanted to watch at thingy? I think it was that striker at Reading.
To be honest with you, it probably could have been any of the 11 players that Orient rocked up at our ground in the cup game.
Yeah, possibly.
Honestly, it could have been any of them that they ripped us apart.
Not Darren Bradley. Not Darren Bradley.
This one is a reply to your stat, Stephen, about that Honeyman scores once every 11 games, and that's on par with Bradshaw last season.
Listen, I absolutely agree 100%. Ben, the Northern correspondent, will hate me for this, but we have too many players that records of scoring goals in attacking positions is woeful. Yeah, that's why Langstaff desperately needs a goal. If he gets a goal, it might just ease him in a little bit. The longer it goes on, it's just gonna. He's just gonna. Is it going to be another one of another Tom Bradshaw?
Was Bradshaw 8 to 12 weeks? Wasn't he 8 to 12 weeks? Is that for right?
Yeah, we've had about 3 now. 4.
So you're looking at November.
I spoke. Someone texted us who spoke to him. in a shop somewhere, I think in Bromley, and he told them allegedly that he won't be back before Christmas.
There you go.
Mickey, I'm just going to put it in our chat, mate. I'll give you £10 if you can pronounce the wedding striker's name.
Wow! Oh, wow!
That is a fucking.
Oh, go on, Frankie. Is that him there? I can't even. I don't think
I'll meet you tomorrow, and I'll buy you what?
His name's it's easy, mate. His name's Kelvin. So I would say that it's Kelvin. He hib Hashiom Han. There you go.
Can you also say, for the benefit of everyone listening, can you also say Tanganga, please?
Huh?
Can you also say Jacket Tanganga?
Double or nothing.
Tandanga. Tang. I'll just say fucking Tango.
Big Jeff.
So what's that player's name?
Oh, fuck knows.
What do you mean fuck knows? Don't fucking give me the fucking...
Ehib Hatomiman.
So pretty much what I said. So yeah, that's fine. Listen, you take the piss out of my disability. That's really not nice. Do you know what I mean?
You wait to that jingle now. You wait to that jingle for your part of the show. You're screwed, mate.
Yeah. My name's Frankie and I abuse the disabled. Yeah, thanks. Right, so yeah, I like. I'm going to go into some of these where they were taking the piss out of thingy just before we end. So you've got obviously he's Frankie here just to make up the numbers. You've got obviously the goals are going in, the pressing up front, so players like that's it. This one was really funny. We got a celebrity guest on in James Corden, and he's getting nothing but abuse. This one
talking to you soon, I reckon.
Mate, no, he's talking to you, I think, but Dan Riggs will answer that in a minute. This one from Connor is fucking brilliant. Negative Dan is the Bradshaw of the podcast, makes some brilliant performances, and then goes missing for months.
I'll tell you what he's been doing. He's been getting people's hopes up of an Oasis ticket.
And then he got conned. He nearly got conned.
Honestly, for the benefit of the chat, Omar and I have been still trying to get Oasis tickets. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a struggle. We had a bit of a
one. I promise you a good day. I'll buy you beers all day. We'll have a party together. I'll come with you to Oasis. Let me know.
Absolutely. So Dan sent a message in the chat. Goes, I might have a spare ticket. What do you boys want to do? So we did a game. Omar won. And it turns out that they nearly lost all their money. So Dan's been he's been hiding because he's almost been scammed. Yes. Sorry. And he's been on holiday as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look, Negatives Dan still had a bedtime, hence why he hasn't been on. It's a bit too late for him. Starmer's got tickets.
Yeah, of course.
Starmer's got tickets for everything, isn't he?
Starmer's in everywhere, mate. Don't worry about him. He's everywhere.
We're in the wrong thingy.
Plymouth are 2-0 up, by the way, guys. Just thought I'd put out there against Luton. They're making us look very silly. And I think it wasn't Obafemi, was it? No, I thought it was Obafemi for a second. I scored it. But Plymouth beating Luton 2-0, everyone.
There we go.
Plymouth have got more wins this season than us.
What the question has to be...
I'm positive all the time.
Has Omar done his prediction league for tonight?
I haven't, and I'm going to do it after the show.
Oh dear. Has Stephen done his prediction league before the show?
Stephen has, but unfortunately, Stephen put Luton to win.
Oh dear. I don't know what I did. I think I might have done Luton to win as well.
I think most people would have done, to be honest.
No, that's it. So yeah. Dan Riggs says, see you tomorrow with the dark fruits. Yeah, that's just wrong.
I know. Dark fruits, Dan.
Yeah, dark fruits, Dan. There we go. Right, gents, that is pretty much it for another day. We made it through.
2-1. 2-1 at the Plymouth Luton game.
2-1.
Sorry.
2-1.
We're going to Home Park and there's a goal.
No, we ain't. No, we ain't.
You wait till next week's show, gents, when I get my new little toy in, and we've got sound effects and all sorts of other things, so that will be good fun next week. Omar, I'll come to you in a minute, mate. Stephen, any final words?
Just hopefully he copped a little bit of abuse. Hopefully, Frankie's stats are accurate. We're all happy after about 5 o'clock tomorrow, and I couldn't care less who scored. If George Honeyman scores a goal, he's the best player in the world. If he misses another sitter, then we slag him off like we always do. But good fun. Just need a win tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. Go on then, Omar. I'm not Omar. Frankie, even. You go final words, fella. Frankie's final words.
Yeah, I'm quietly confident about tomorrow, which makes me nervous. So we'll see, won't we? But yeah, I reckon we'll do business tomorrow. But no, good show, boys. Thank you for the chat, for your kind words and positive thoughts. Appreciate it.
And that's the last you'll be seeing of Frankie on the show. He won't be coming back.
Dan Riggs wants to meet everyone at 1 p.m. at the beer tent, where he will be the only person drinking dark fruits.
You won't miss him. Dark fruit.
Oh, look, he's got in there first before I did. Hagrid's orders. Thank you very much, Andrew. Those of you who haven't already, get over onto Happy Healing with Luke. He's put a new video out about an hour and a half ago, so 2 hours ago maybe. Get on there, give him a like, and give him a subscribe. Help get him some more exposure on YouTube. That is it. We are That Millwall Podcast. Thank you very much for bearing with us at the beginning. Yes, it was a hard watch, and yes, it was a message what needs to get out there, and the message is fairly straightforward. You may think you're on your own. You're not. You're part of a Millwall family. We're all there, whether or not you know us personally or you don't know us personally. All of our DMs are open. You can get us on the email. You can get us however you need to get hold of us. But get in touch with us if you want to, moan, or you just want to have speak to someone, for someone to listen. We are there. You do have various numbers which are posted on our socials, pinned on our social, for Samaritans, etc., Mind, Calm, etc. I know sometimes it's hard to think it, but sometimes things aren't necessarily as bad as what you will tell yourself, and good times are only around the corner. It's just getting around that corner first what's the hardest challenge. That's Omar, that's Stephen, aka Claire Balding, that's James Corden, aka Frankie, and Omar. Thanks very much, Harvey. That's it, we're all done.
Cheers, Baldy.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall and we're going today. Here we go. Rocking all over the